Welcome to the Startup Greece Talks. On this episode, I'm going to welcome Dimitrios Bissias from Eftopia. So, welcome Dimitris. Great pleasure being here and hosting us in beautiful London.
Thank you, Thanos. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you today.
Awesome. So, before we learn more about Eftopia, I would like to make you some very quick questions like tea or coffee?
Coffee?
Mountain or sea?
Sea?
Moussaka or pasticcio?
Moussaka?
Slack or Teams?
Slack?
iOS or Android?
Android?
And last but not least, the most difficult question, Tripoli or London? The weather may be the same.
Yes, this is true. However, Greece will always be in my heart, so I would say Tripoli.
Awesome. So, tell us more about your background and your experiences before Eftopia and how you make it, how you came up with the idea of Eftopia. So, first question, tell us about your experience.
When you ask me about my experience, I can speak about my education experiences and my work experiences. Education-wise, I have been educated in finance, economics, mathematics, and management by research. I have worked in teaching and teaching support in England, in secondary and further education respectively, and many years ago in Greece in operations and sales.
Awesome. So tell us how you come up with the idea of Eftopia. What made you to say, okay, I'm going to start Eftopia?
Well, I have been always curious about education and studying about education phenomena academically. And Eftopia, the idea of launching Eftopia came up, to be very precise, came up from a personal, as we say, business pain. In business, we divide the reasons why we create new ventures in three categories. First, our customers' main pains. Second, the industry need or a gap in the market. Or third, our personal, perhaps, identifications of gap in the markets for our personal interest. Mm-hmm. So when I moved from Greece, where higher education is
provided to everyone.
Exactly. And everyone has access to higher education. When I moved to England to study, 13, 14 years ago, I noticed a different ecosystem. And that in comparison with the ecosystem in the US and Canada creates a global gap in the market about the provision of the USP of Eftopia. Because education and higher education flows across continents, flows across market states, across nation states, flows across markets, and crosses boundaries and borders. So I noticed that global imbalance and wanted to offer my unique proposition in the local market.
Tell us more about what is Eftopia and what is the unique proposition that you
offer. Of course. In the local market of London first, and then nationally and more broadly. The unique proposition of Eftopia, the unique USP of Eftopia, is that we offer ethically sourced. The ethical dimension is the source of higher education, independent, mainly asynchronous, contextualized, and if possible, affordable. We always aim for affordability, higher education solutions, and research output, but this will come a bit later, to almost literally all adult learners, irrespectively of their work experience, academic background, or financial constraints. We provide education in their own time, space, and pace, and we aim to reach literally all adult learners who are willing to be educated in that education mode, in that mode of education provision.
Okay, so where are you right now? In what stage are you?
At the moment, I could say that the company is from pre-seed to seed stage, as we say in the terminology of startups. The company has completed its minimum viable product. It's ready to launch its prototype, which is the complete first course of the company, which will be the first massive online course entitled Business Economics and Strategy with applications in the UK. And the company aims to reach first London-wise all relevant clients, then nation-wise all in England, then UK-wise, Europe-wise, and who knows where else.
Awesome. So could you share us more about the terminology, what Eftopia means?
Okay. In order to explain to someone what Eftopia means, I will keep the reason why I entitled the company as Eftopia as the last part of my answer. I will go for the easy connotations that first, that could be explained as a second order explanation to everyone. So, Eftopia is first of all a good place, a good destination. So, I was looking for a name that had positive vibes. It did the tick. Second, Eftopia is something that is something between utopia and dystopia. It's a play with words. So it's something, let's say, a clever way to find the middle way between utopia and dystopia. This is, I think, something that these two interpretations that are for people who are willing to learn more about the company. For those who are really passionate about learning about the real roots of Eftopia, and I have never declared it in public, and thank you, Thanos, for giving me the opportunity to say it today, is the way I came up with the word Eftopia is that in philosophy, we have the philosophy of pragmatism. And especially in the US, the philosophy of American pragmatism is very common in organizations and how we see the world around us. When it comes to the word utopia, which is something that doesn't exist, if we apply the principles of pragmatism, which in philosophy are higher order hermeneutic interpretations, we can reach something that exists. So Eftopia, in my own terms, is the pragmatic utopia.
Awesome.
And this is how I came up with the definition.
That's awesome, and I think it concludes everything that you are doing right now. So, tell us more about the market. How big is the market that you are trying to face, and how you service them?
Okay. The market. I will refrain from dropping numbers of billions or of tens of billions about the TIM or equivalent measures that other startup founders may drop at the moment. And I would reverse the answer by saying that we start small. We are humble. It's very important when you run a startup to reach your first, your 10th, your 100th, and your 1000th customer. Now Eftopia is aiming to reach, in what I said, its first three-digit customer, I would say, and learner, and also speed up to the first four-digit customer. And as you know, in startups, we did things that do not scale first and then we'll scale them massively. So at the moment we are in the first stage.
Awesome. And what's the business model that it's gonna help you to scale? What's the business model that you have right now, and what are your thoughts on it? Are you gonna stay on it?
Yes.
What's the current status?
According to the US academic management literature, that business model is our innovation. And in combination with innovation in processes, it's at the moment the two factors that contribute to the competitive advantage of Eftopia. In the future, I aim to develop technology innovation as well, but at the moment we do business model and processes. Regarding the business model, the company has a fourfold revenue stream, which comes from the materials that are affordable for everyone on the website of the company. Second, the enrollment to the virtual learning environment of the company, where learners have the opportunity to gain certificates of completion and participate in forums about the courses. So there's a fee there as well. Third, the whole research output will be sold under affordable prices after the courses are completed. And fourth, the face-to-face group tutoring sessions that are happening at the moment here in London. So the business model is these four revenue streams. In short, but I always say that business models are the unique way to solve a puzzle, and because, as we say in startups, you cannot copyright business models, and if you are successful, the business models can be copied. I refrain from getting into very high details here, and the nuts and bolts of it are known at the moment only to me, perhaps. But still, I shared with you the revenue streams, which are the main income paths to Eftopia.
Awesome. So talking about revenue streams, and it comes to my mind to ask you, tell us more about the competitive advantage that you have, because we've seen the growth of the market and too many big players that are there. But tell us which one is the most competitive advantage that you're bringing to the table, and how you see. Yeah, let's talk on this. And
okay, the competitive advantage that at the moment Eftopia tries to, and with which Eftopia tries to enter the market, is its independence. It's and I really like to say that. I really like to keep the company independent from specific higher education stakeholders in the long run. I don't know if it will be possible. I don't know if in the long run someone makes themselves appealing for a partnership. But at the moment, is highly advantageous, in my opinion, to keep yourself independent of various higher education stakeholders, so that you are able to apply your own rules to the academic context under offer. You keep the quality fit for purpose. You keep it the materials ethically sourced, and you break down all the barriers that learners face in order to access higher education. You break the barriers of time, of pace, of space. You break the barriers of accessibility to higher education due to individual characteristics. Protected, but still. You break the barriers of financial constraints, and you break also the barriers of work experience. So, to summarize everything, Eftopia aims to reach literally every adult learner with its education solutions. And to go back to your question, when you have, you're not dependent, and dependent meaning you're not affiliated formally with a higher education provider, a bricks and mortar one, you have the leniency to provide ethical, of course, compliant and legal solutions, but in your own equity terms.
Awesome. Great answer. I think that's makes difference in the space that you are. So right now, the questions that I would love to make you is, tell us about your strategy and the strategy on right now. As far as I know, you're bootstrapped. Are you gonna raise funding? What are the next steps, and how are you gonna boost your growth?
At the moment, I could consider the company, if it would open a funding round, it would have not shown its real potential to the market. So any terms would be not to its greatest benefit. So I'm postponing opening a funding round until early in 2025. Which is likely that the funding round will open. However, at the moment, I'm focusing on making the company fit for a successful funding round. If we assume that the funding round can take, for example, 3 to 6 months, and the company should enter with the best possible conditions, at the moment, the company is some steps away of that beginning. So we are working on making the company a future funding success.
Okay, could you share us more about the team and what are the persons that you probably would like to have on the team, and what are your next steps in order to build the team and make it strong?
Yes, of course. The team. I was interviewing recently interns about new joiners. So the company at the moment contracts out many operations and is focused on the support of the director, myself, for its success. However, at the moment there is a great a great timing for onboarding new joiners. And the company at the moment has open positions, for example, in digital marketing, position in sales is in the pipeline as well. Recruitment-wise, the company is active. It recruits new members of staff. Keep an eye on the web page for the new faces. And I would like to say something here that what I add to every JD, and the JDs should be on the website of the company, but they are not. I need to see it, job descriptions, is that I add a sentence in the optional requirements, or less optional, that the candidate needs to have ability to understand the culture of the company and perhaps act as its guardian.
So what's the ideal candidate? What's the profile? Because people that are watching this episode could be interested on joining your team and working with you. What's the ideal candidate?
The ideal candidate needs to understand the tagline of the company, that learning is equity. Needs to deeply understand that by learning, by focusing on higher education materials, not per se for the certificate or the degree or the master's or the doctorate, but the materials and the knowledge can provide everyone the competitive advantage in life that the idea of equity demands. This is not straightforward for everyone. So as far as someone can understand that culture which is instilled to the whole organization, for me, that's the tick in that part of JD.
Awesome. Great to hear from you. I think some people could be interested on joining you. And let's discuss a little bit about the whole industry, and if it's possible to share with us the trends and how you think that education could be transformed in the next few years.
Okay, here I start the discussion by mentioning AI. Artificial intelligence is here for everyone. It aims people with AI tools will change many jobs, the way many things are done, fair enough. But in education, I believe there's still work to be done from AI, if it's possible to be captured with AI, about how to think. In my opinion, when it comes to AI tools, although AI tools can think in first principles per se, for example, if you feed an AI tool, an LLM, if you feed prompts and ask it to think in first principles, it will break down the topic in indeed first principles. First principles say, meaning that it will break down the very, very nuts and bolts of the topic and start for a bottom-up approach. But people are not used to thinking first principles anymore. They use AI. So the trend in education, to go back to your initial question, the trends in education are more automation, fair enough, more AI, fair enough. But in parallel, there are challenges around critical thinking, because if we say that we don't do the difficult job, we don't know how things are worked out, and we take the output from the AI tool as it is, then we forget to think in first principles. We forget about innovation, we forget about creativity. I don't know what is the solution, but for sure AI seems at the moment not to have it. So in your question about the trends in education, AI for sure will disrupt and change things. Assessment is a big question mark in the market, in the education market for EdTech companies. How assessment is robust, solid, and can be done in a fair way for everyone. With so many tools available in the laptops of the learners at home, from AI mainly. And there's a whole discussion around intellectual property as well, to which I don't want to say a lot, because I'm not an expert.
What about augmented reality and virtual reality? Is it also a trend? Is buzzwords or
AR and VR used to be 23 years ago, I think, more popular than in discussions than nowadays. However, it's not my expertise, so I would refrain from saying more about that.
Awesome.
But when it comes, if it comes technology, if it helps technology to make things more realistic for students and see in a virtual world and have simulations of real phenomena, it sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your insights and your knowledge on what's going on in the education tech. And before we go, I would like to ask you, what do you miss from Greece?
From Greece, what I miss from Greece? The Greek language, for sure. I miss the Greek language. I miss my family there. My parents are there. And apart from that, I miss something very trivial, but it may sound well to Greek audience. A coffee with a Greek-speaking friend.
Awesome. And last but not least, share with us your motto, or something that inspires you and makes you being a warrior in the world of startups.
That it's not an exaggeration to say that the tagline of the company has been very thoroughly thought and constructed. So I would say learning is equity. And behind these words, these three words, there's a whole philosophy about life. If you take the breakdown of any subject and you break it down into curricula, syllabi, and texts, and you start bottom up, relaxing the constraints that we already referred to as the USP of Eftopia, there's no limit, sky's the limit. So I will go back to the initial question by saying learning is equity.
Awesome. So it was a pleasure hosting us, being with you and talking about Eftopia. I wish you the best and looking forward for your success.
Thank you, Thanos. Thank you very much.
Thank you.